How does a company that is the very symbol of capitalism go woke anti-capitalist? I'm talking here about a company that many of us use. I use. I've got its card right now in my pocket. American Express. And think about it. American Express is sort of the grease of the wheels of capitalism, because capitalism relies on credit, not just personal and consumer credit, but business credit, and American Express makes this possible. So it is part of the infrastructure of modern American and global capitalism. It's also a symbol of capitalism. Many years ago, I was taking a guy, I think from Norway or Sweden, a scholar was visiting me. When we went to dinner, I paid with my American Express card, and he was like, "Hey, I noticed you have a gold card. How did you get a gold card?" And I told him, well, I said, a lot of people making a decent middle-class income in America have a gold card. And he goes, in Europe, it's really hard to get a gold card. I can't get a gold card. So anyway, I mentioned all this only because it reflected to me the way in which American Express symbolized capitalist success. But here is American Express, and this is an article by Chris Rufo in the New York Post, talking about that American Express now has installed a critical race theory education propaganda. They've hired a company called Paradigm, and what they do is they bring these American Express employees into a room, and they make them fill out a form. And the form has the following things: your race, your sexual orientation, your body type, your religion, your disability status, your age, your gender identity. So not just your actual gender, but your gender identity. And your citizenship and blah, blah, blah. And once you've filled out this category, there's a point value that tells you if you're an oppressor or you're oppressed. Yeah. So then you have to separate yourself into these two camps. Presumably, white males qualify as the real oppressed. And if you're oppressed, what you're supposed to do is the first thing you're supposed to do is you've got to identify your intersectional allies. So in other words, you're supposed to be, the term ally in woke speak basically means that you're an oppressor, but you have to be on the side of the oppressed. You have to be their ally. And so you've got to identify people who are oppressed, but intersectionality is key, because one guy may only be oppressed because, say, he's Latino. But that's just kind of like, well, that's one, but that's not impressive enough. What if you're like a Latina woman? That's two. You're a twofer. What if you're a Latina woman who has like one leg? Then you're a threefer, and you can go to a fourfer and so on. So you kind of need to find who's the guy who's like the most oppressed, and that's going to be the guy we kind of all focus on. And then it gives you all this sort of advice for the seminar, which is, I guess, supposed to be a guideline, not just for your career, but for life. Say things like, well, first of all, it tells white employees, do not say things like, I don't see color. Now, obviously, I don't see color doesn't mean I don't see it. It means I don't attach importance to it. But don't say that. Don't say things like we are all human beings. Why are there some pandas and elephants among us? Don't say things like everyone can succeed in this society if they work hard enough. Basically the credo of every immigrant. These are all called, quote, microaggressions. You're making people, you're triggering them by saying, we're all human beings. Whoa, what? So this craziness is going on in corporate America. They even hired this guy, Khalil Muhammad. Now, he's the grandson of Elijah Muhammad, who founded the Nation of Islam. And what does this guy do? It's classic. He denounces capitalism. He says racist forms of domination have shaped Western and American society since the Industrial Revolution. So this guy Muhammad, I mean, just think about it. This is basically kind of letting the fox into the henhouse. A guy who wants to destroy capitalism is at American Express lecturing these people. They're all like, let's take notes. Yeah, let's hear what Mr. Muhammad is saying. And he goes on to say that we need to do, quote, deep redistributive and reparative referring to reparations, and lobby the government for policies that reflect your values. Actually, if American Express had any values, they would throw this bum out and suspend this whole program.
Interest for everybody.
So yeah, exactly. You want to, if American Express is turning against capitalism, stop charging people these, these usurious rates of interest. Yeah, here's American Express last October, a $1 billion, quote, action plan to increase diversity. So all these companies are doing this, and a lot of it happened in the wake of George Floyd, but some of it goes back to Ferguson even earlier. And then what it does is it put these companies on just a very destructive track. They're all undermining their own rationale. Their own rationale is to provide good services, cultivate their customers, make money, help capitalism work better, but they're not helping capitalism work better. They're actually undermining it. I don't know what I'm going to do with my American Express card. I'm not asking you to do anything with yours, but we should be on notice that this is one company, one more company, that has, like so many of the others, gone woke.